Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Wisconsin.
Nice warm Monday night for baseball here in Milwaukee. Yeah, you stay cool in that tub outside of Miller Park. Start of another home series. It's the Marlins and the Brewers, the first of a big four-game series over the 4th of July holiday week. Zach Greinke continues his exceptional play in his home uniform this season, 4-0 with a 108, while holding opponents virtually helpless at the plate. He'll oppose an old Brewer nemesis while he was with the Cubs. It's Carlos Zambrano. He too likes this ballpark and once threw a no-hitter here. Ryan Braun and the Brew Crew trying to extend a successful series against the Marlins. They have the longest active win streak against one team on their home court, if you will, and that stands at 8. And one guy who's been a tough out over the years has been Hanley Ramirez, who has the second highest batting average against the Brew Crew ever at .389. Hi, everybody. I'm Craig Kashan. Welcome back to the broadcast as we get you set for Game 1, Marlins and the Brewers. And this is going to be a tough four-game series for Milwaukee. The Marlins come in with a four-game winning streak here at Miller Park. The Brewers have won 4 straight in the series, though, and having just taken the D-backs to a walk-off win on Sunday, so they hope to keep that rolling along. Nori Aoki has an 8-game hitting streak brewing. Not in the lineup today, but has done well from that leadoff position, serving as the igniter for this team. And then Giancarlo Stanton has been the Marlins run producer this year and was just named the NL All-Star team and will also take his bat to the home run derby as well. Brewers got to cool him off. King of the Hill, Zach Greinke could join elite status in the history of the game with another home win tonight. BN Rock greets you next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
First pitch, Zach Greinke is on the mound. He is 15-0 here at Miller Park. He is one win away here, perhaps tonight, from tying a modern Major League record. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us tonight. Tonight starts a 4-game series with the Miami Marlins. And Rock, our first look at the Miami Marlins, managed by Ozzie Guillen. They have a lot of big names in their batting order, but it's nice to send up Zach Greinke against a batting order like that. Greinke has been outstanding this year, an all-star snub. We'll see if he can pick up another win tonight.
Well, I like the way you started that all-star snub. I agree 100%. I think everybody in Milwaukee does. But Zach Greinke, every time he walks out on the mound, you know you're going to get a tremendous effort, particularly here at Miller Park. His last 6 starts, he's been unhittable. He's 4-0, a 167 earned run average. He's given up 8 runs in that stretch. And remember, 4 of those runs came in 1 start. Walk to strikeouts, very good. 7 walks, 40 punch-outs. Anytime Greinke is on the mound, you have a great chance to win.
Well, he could be just the 3rd big pitcher in the history of baseball to win his first 16 home decisions with a team. He's got a chance to do it tonight. The Brewers trying to win another series. Make it 5 for 5 here at Miller Park. First pitch coming up. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Toyota, when you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Time for Brewers baseball, and there is Zach Greinke as he leads the Brewers out onto the field here at Miller Park on a warm night in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Greinke putting that 15-0 career record at Miller Park on the line tonight against the Miami Marlins. Roof is open, temperature is up, and the ball will play short once again tonight because it is a hitter-friendly ballpark to start with, and you know how it travels in the heat. Brewers winning back-to-back games over the weekend, defeating the Arizona Diamondbacks, and now take on Ozzie Guillen's Miami Marlins. The Marlins are 38-40. They are hanging in the race in the National League East right now. Currently led by the Washington Nationals. Miami starts the day 7.5 back. The Brewers start play today, 7 back of the Cincinnati Reds. Miami has won their last 4 games. They swept the Phillies most recently. They have Jose Reyes leading off. Hanley Ramirez playing third base this year. He's batting second. Giancarlo Stanton in the 3-hole. In the middle of the order for Ozzie Guillen, it's Logan Morrison, Justin Ruggiero in center field. Greg Dobbs gets the start for Gary Sanchez at first base tonight. And in the bottom of the order is Omar Infante, John Buck, and Carlos Zambrano, the former Cub.
Well, Zach Greinke making his 17th start, coming off a terrific month of June where he was 3-0, a 170 earned run average in 5 starts, gave up 7 earned runs all month, and 4 of those coming in 1 start.
And let's check the defense behind Zach Greinke tonight. Ryan Braun, Carlos Gomez, and Nigel Morgan in the outfield. Out infield of Aramis Ramirez, Cesar Izturis, Ricky Weeks, and Corey Hart, and Martin Maldonado doing the catching once again. A beautiful night for baseball. You like it hot. It's unseasonably hot here in Milwaukee, unusually hot. As Greinke deals ball 1 to Jose Reyes, and away we go tonight. Great to have you with us on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Brewers starting a 4-game series with the Miami Marlins this evening, having won their last 4 home series. Milwaukee finally starting to put together a little bit of a run here in their home venue, and that's a good thing because the Brewers are going to be home a great deal. As Reyes shoots one through the hole for a base hit. Last year's batting champion has had a down season this season, but aboard with a single to start it against Greinke. That is Daryl Cousins calling the balls and strikes. He's the crew chief. Ron Kolpa, DJ Rayburn, and Dan Bellino on the bases. Brewers will play 4 against the Marlins, go on a quick road trip to Houston, just 3 games, and then the All-Star break. And then they're right back here at Miller Park to open the second half with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hanley Ramirez batting in the 2 spot tonight for Ozzie Guillen. Plenty of familiar names, Bill, in this Miami batting order and on their bench with Ozzie Guillen. And they've been kind of an enigma this year. Very streaky team, the Marlins.
Yeah, kind of up and down. Got off to a bad start in April. Had a very good month of May, and June wasn't too good until the final 4 games. And some of the guys that they had expected big things from have not been able to come through. And the biggest name on that list, Gabby Sanchez.
Sanchez not in the starting lineup tonight with Greg Dobbs, a left-handed hitter, in there. Not calling it a platoon, Ozzie Guillen, but Dobbs gets the start against the tough right-hander Greinke tonight. There's a strike on the corner. 2-1 to Hanley Ramirez. No player in the game with at least 100 at-bats has a better career batting average against Milwaukee than Hanley Ramirez. He's hitting .389 career against Brewer pitching. And there's a shot into left field, a base hit. So 2 ground balls that have found the hole between third and short, and the Marlins with 2 on to start this game. And here comes the dangerous Giancarlo Stanton. Saturday against the Phillies, against Cole Hamels. A frozen rope over the Clevelander club out there in the outfield at New Marlins Park. Then yesterday against the Phillies, opposite field.
And just strong, big, tall. He's got good leverage, and when he hits them, they stay hit. 19 home runs, 50 RBIs, providing just about all of the power for the Marlins. Ramirez has 12. But this is a team that relies on speed to score their runs for the most part.
That home run by Stanton yesterday was his 19th of the season, and it put the Marlins ahead 3-1 at the time. A sweep of the Phillies. That National League East has flip-flopped, and a lot of concerns about the Phillies, wondering where they are headed as an organization this year. Maldonado making a quick trip to the mound for Zach Greinke. Brewers pitching coach Rick Kranitz keeping a close eye on his starter,
trying to give the appearance of being calm.
Even when he is calm, he doesn't look calm, Rick Kranitz. Stanton has the kind of power line to line that can make this a 3-0 game in a hurry. And Greinke misses with a breaking ball, and he's going to be forced to challenge Giancarlo Stanton here.
Man, what a nice pitch to start out. A big power hitter. I don't know where it missed, but Darryl Cousins didn't like it.
There's strike one. Stanton is currently third in the National League in homers. Ryan Braun leads the National League in home runs with 22. Had 2 on Saturday, did Braun. Carlos Beltran with the Cardinals has 20. Beltran and Stanton both named to the National League Home Run Derby team. Matt Kemp was the man who named that squad. Carlos Gonzalez of the Rockies is the other name. The 4 players in the Home Run Derby.
That should be interesting with Stanton because nobody can hit him any further than he can. We'll see how that ballpark in Kansas City holds his home runs.
2-1 to Stanton. And a fastball strike. He took a guess and he guessed wrong. 2-2.
94 right on the outside corner for Greinke. About the time that Zach's going to throw that slider off the plate. Now Stanton will strike out quite a bit. He's got 79 punch outs already this year. But don't make a mistake.
See what Greinke has in mind for him. 2-2. A slider that missed. And the count goes full. 3-2 on Giancarlo Stanton, formerly known as Mike Stanton.
Probably going to see the base runners on the move. These guys can run, these guys on the bases.
And Greinke thinking along the same lines as you.
And the Marlins lead the National League in stolen bases with 73. And most of the stolen bases are represented by the 2 guys on base now.
There's ball 4. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Greinke dialing it up a couple of notches. But he is pitching with the bases loaded in the first inning and nobody out.
Stanton really doing a nice job laying off that 2-2 slider, a pitch that ordinarily he's going to be able to get a hitter, especially an aggressive hitter like Stanton, but he laid off.
It'll be Logan Morrison now. 2 singles and a walk. And Greinke in a whole lot of trouble here in this first inning. Morrison hitting just .235, but has 8 homers, 27 RBIs. Those aren't numbers that you would expect from a cleanup hitter. But Ozzie Guillen searching for some offense. And Morrison ends up in that cleanup spot.
And big home run numbers last year for Morrison. Not so much this year. A little bit different ballpark in Miami these days.
Morrison has spent the most time hitting cleanup for the Marlins. Giancarlo Stanton spent some time in that 4th spot in the batting order. He's been moved to 3rd. And Morrison takes a strike. A fastball from Greinke. It's 1-2.
It must have been looking breaking ball because that last fastball is right down the heart of the plate. Tough to take that pitch.
Greinke has great strikeout stuff, but he's almost in a closer's mindset here in the first inning. He's going to have to dig deep to try to escape this one. Down and in. Great play by Maldonado. Keeps the runners at bay.
Well, he's been solid. You know Greinke's going to try and spike that slider. And not only does he block it, but he keeps it right there in front of him. Runners have to stay put.
That is textbook, isn't it?
Keep that glove between the legs. Square it up. Yep.
Now 2-2 on Logan Morrison. The very outspoken Marlins left fielder. Good cut, fouls it back. The king of Twitter in Major League Baseball, Logan Morrison.
Is that right?
He's not afraid to give his opinion.
What does Ozzie Guillen think of that?
You know, Ozzie Guillen gave up his Twitter account, Rock. He ran into a little trouble of his own.
Yeah. Ozzie no stranger to trouble, but he can wiggle his way out of trouble pretty well. There's another guy not afraid to speak his mind.
That's right.
So I guess if you do it, you can't really criticize your players for doing it.
Very charismatic manager coming over from the White Sox to the Marlins. Marlins open up a new stadium this year, a retractable roof stadium on the site of the old Orange Bowl. Morrison hanging tough. 20 pitches already. Greinke does not have an out. And he is a mistake away from a disastrous beginning here at Miller Park.
And a good pitch away from a double play ball.
Brewers would gladly concede the run to turn a pair. Greinke typically likes to ease his way into a ball game. You don't see the big stuff early. He's going to be forced to go get it. A swing and a miss. Zach Greinke with a curveball strikes out Logan Morrison. That's a big one. The first out of the ball game comes with the bases loaded.
Yep, it was an 8-pitch at bat, and Zach finally able to get him. Started out with a curveball. Looked like a pretty good pitch. And then a couple of fastballs. Logan Morrison taking the second fastball right down the middle. And then it was a battle. 3 consecutive foul balls, 3 different pitches, and on pitch 8, Zach Greinke able to get him with a good curveball at 81 miles an hour.
Yeah, went to the other side of the plate to get the strikeout. So 1 gone, bases loaded still for Justin Ruggiano. And strike 1 from Greinke. Ruggiano in center field tonight for Ozzie Guillen, guy that can play all 3 outfield spots. Center field's probably his least favorite, but Guillen needs his bat in the lineup. Hitting .389. Bouncing ball to third. Oh, and it's over the glove of Ramirez, and this is going to bring 2 runs home.
That looked like it might have been a double play ball. It looked like it took a bad hop. Went straight up into left field. You can see Greinke thought off the bat it was going to end the inning. A tough play for Aramis Ramirez. It ends up into left field. Good pitch on a curveball. There it is. Goes straight up, and Ramirez no chance on it. That'll be a base hit. 2 RBIs.
Well, that is some terrible luck for Zach Greinke. What could have been a 5-4-3 double play to end the inning. Plates 2 runs on the Marlins' 3rd hit. For a guy who has had very little go wrong in his starts at Miller Park. 2 on for Greg Dobbs now. You know, the Brewers have had a lot of success against the Marlins in recent play. The Brewers beat Miami in every game of the season last season. They won 7 in a row in the season series. And if you go back to the 2010 season, they won the final game of the season series that year. So the Brewers' winning streak against the Marlins is 8 in a row as Dobbs lines one to Braun. Out number 2. The Brewers catch a break with that hard hit ball. And now 2 gone with 2 runs in. Still 2 on for Omar Infante.
And that one hit pretty well. Dobbs, a very good hitter. We talked about taking the place of Gabby Sanchez at first base. Hit that one right on the button.
Omar Infante, former Atlanta Brave, an all-star with the Atlanta Braves. put on the All-Star team as a utility man. As he takes a strike. Infante in 2010 was an All-Star with the Braves. This is his second year with the Marlins. He was part of that Dan Uggla trade. Infante and Mike Dunn was in their bullpen. Still active for the Marlins, while Dan Uggla is again an all-star starter for the Atlanta Braves. We'll take you through some of the all-stars through our broadcast today, and some heated discussions going on across Major League Baseball about all-star snubs. Doesn't matter how many you expand the roster by, there's always going to be some guys left out.
And that's the great thing about it. You can have 50 guys on the All-Star team, and there's still going to be some squawking from, different fans around baseball saying, their guy didn't make it. Ron Renicky made it. Unfortunately, Zach Greinke did not.
Yeah, Greinke, one of the major snubs. He and Johnny Cueto on the pitching side. Ground ball to second. Ricky Weeks will take care of Infante, and for what it's worth, Greinke escapes huge damage. He gives up just 2. Brewers in a hole early. Nobody out, avoids further damage, and now Ron Renicky and his club will play from behind here tonight against Carlos Zambrano, a familiar foe on the mound. Here's the Piggly Wiggly batting order. Carlos Gomez, Niger Morgan celebrating his birthday today, and Ryan Braun at the top. In the middle of the order, it is Aramis Ramirez, Corey Hart, and Ricky Weeks. Maldonado, Izturis, and Greinke rounded out. And Carlos Zambrano pitching for the Marlins. Former Cub, and Rocky's making his 16th start of the year. The win-loss is not where he wants it to be. Overall, he's had a pretty decent season, though.
Yeah, the earned run average not too bad at 371. His last 4 starts, he's had control problems. Zambrano with a ton of walks. He's making his 32nd career start against Milwaukee. He's a 13-10.
Carlos Gomez leads off against Carlos Zambrano.
Got the Ryan Dempster waggle going with the glove. That's something new.
I was just noticing that. Taking a page from his old teammate's book. Zambrano throws the split finger pitch, and hey, more power to him. A guy who is willing to learn and try to survive. Zambrano works very fast. He's not the overpowering fastball pitcher that he used to be. There's a good look at that split finger grip.
He's high 80s and low 90s for the most part. He still has from time to time enough to be able to get it in the 93, 94 range, but he was routinely at about 95 in his younger days.
Gomez pops it foul and out of play. Able to stay alive on the splitter. Check the defense for the Marlins behind Zambrano. See a lot of balls put in play off Zambrano. Morrison, Ruggiato, and Sten. You've got Ramirez and Dobbs on the corners with Reyes and Infante at the keystone. And Big John Buck doing the catching. Defense brought to you by Menards. The new look Miami Marlins. Bouncing ball to Reyes. And Gomez is the first out for Carlos Zambrano. Zambrano lately has had a rough time on the mound. You see his last 7 starts, an earned run average around 6.5. He got off to a great start for the Marlins this season. But he's a guy the Brewers know very well, and he knows the Brewer hitters very well. Not a whole lot of secrets here, except for the waggle that he has never used before.
Yeah, the Marlins say he really committed himself in the offseason to getting in very good shape. You can tell just looking at him, he looks a little bit different, a little bit trimmer.
Last start was against the Cardinals. He gave up 5 runs in that game, but all of them were unearned against St. Louis. Took a loss. Happy birthday to Nyjer Morgan. He's 32 years of age today. Back in the starting lineup against the right-handed pitcher Nori Aoki. Not in the lineup today. Renicky giving Gomez and Morgan a chance in the same batting order. As Morgan rolls over 1 to second, Infante makes a play for the second out. Now here comes Ryan Braun, sitting at the top of the National League with 22 homers. Powerball home run leaderboard. Braun leads the club. Corey Hart is second with 15. Ramos Ramirez has hit 9 this season. Braun continues to set a great pace, on a better pace than even his MVP numbers at this point from a year ago.
Yep, incredibly consistent throughout his career, to say the least. That's an understatement.
Braun named to his 5th All-Star team. He started the last 4. Still a chance he could start this one, but will not be voted as a starter by the fans. Matt Kemp, Melky Cabrera, and Carlos Beltran. It is unlikely that Kemp will play in the All-Star game, as Braun is hit by a pitch. And right in the back with an 87-mile-an-hour pitch. And a base runner with 2 away.
Zambrano not afraid to come inside. When you don't throw very hard, you've got to be able to keep hitters honest on the inside corner. That one got Ryan right on the back of the arm. A little glancing blow, no big deal. That's the 6th hit batter by Zambrano this year. That leads the Marlins.
Yeah, the Brewers lead by a large margin in all of baseball in times hit by pitch as a team. So now it brings up former teammates Ramos Ramirez and Carlos Zambrano. This is a matchup I think everybody's anxious to watch.
Yeah, the Brewers have been hit by 46 pitches this year. The next closest, and you know me and math, the Phillies 28. There's a big difference.
We'll work that out. We'll get you the numbers in a minute.
Let's make sure that that's accurate. I'm pretty confident.
Well, nobody knows more than Carlos Zambrano that in order to be effective against the Brewers, you have to pitch inside, especially to Braun and Fielder. Excuse me, Braun and Ramirez, I beg your pardon. A Freudian slip. Ramirez and Zambrano spent 9 years together on the north side with the Cubs.
Well, nobody knows better than Zambrano that you can't throw a fastball down the middle to a Ramos Ramirez on the first pitch. I know that you know that I know. This is going on right now with these two.
And you wonder, it's one thing to be teammates, to know a guy very well, to know his tendencies and all that. It's another thing to face a guy. And certainly Ramirez has not faced Zambrano in all those years as a Cub. Zambrano came to the league in 01. Aramis Ramirez was a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates for 3 seasons prior to the trade to the Chicago Cubs. So there is a little bit of history there. Ramirez is 2 for 5 lifetime against Zambrano with a home run.
You know, pitchers, they sit in the dugout and watch their teammates up there at the plate year after year, and they have an idea in their head as to how they would pitch to certain guys. You know, Greinke sits in there and figures what he would do against Ryan Braun. Zambrano certainly did that with Aramis Ramirez, and vice versa. Ramirez out at third base, figuring this is what I would look for with Zambrano on the mound.
2-2 the count. And he misses away. A little off-speed pitch.
Split-fingered fastball at 83. I mean, that pitch used to be at about 87. 88 miles an hour.
Corey Hart anxious to hit next. 2 outs in the inning. Braun hit by a pitch. And now Ramirez at the plate. Braun takes off. Ramirez pops it foul in the seats. Count remains at 3-2. Braun takes off again. Ramirez takes ball 4. So he did not bite. Ramirez draws the walk, and the Brewers put 2 men aboard with 2 outs in the first inning, and Corey Hart coming up.
Ozzie Guillen has seen this quite a bit with Zambrano on the mound. He's walked 15 batters in his last 3 starts. He's walked 15 batters, but only has given up 15 hits. What a statistical anomaly.
Nibbling on the mound, trying to get hitters to chase. And he starts Corey Hart with a breaking ball strike. Zambrano will give you a lot of different arm angles, different pitches, varies the speeds. Well, he was one of the dominant pitchers in Major League Baseball in the early 2000s. Had that blazing fastball, 96, 97 miles per hour. And about as tough as they came when he was on his A game back in those days. He was just a tough guy to handle.
Yeah, very emotional. Sometimes his emotions could get away from him, and you know, the Marlins have said that he's a different guy these days. He's not like that anymore.
Hart chops one foul over to third base. Well, Zach Greinke giving up 2 runs in the first inning, had the bases loaded and nobody out. Actually was a bad hop base hit that led to the 2 runs. One and 2 to Hart. Brewers trying to answer. Something they have done a lot of when Greinke has been on the mound. And that one didn't miss by much. Hart able to lay off, and now it's 3-2. Another full count.
Now the difference in velocity is why Corey Hart's able to lay off of that splitter.
I don't like the way John Buck caught that ball. That was a pretty good pitch. It's a case where a catcher might have taken a strike away.
Yeah.
2-2. I beg your pardon, not 3-2. Count remains 2-2.
And turn that hand over with the thumb facing the right-handed batter. You kind of catch it with the open glove up, and you might be able to steal a strike. If an umpire can see the baseball in a pitch like that, you show it to him, you might get a call.
We'll do it again. Another 2-2 pitch. 3-2. Now it's full. And both runners will get a head start. You better believe we'll have a camera trained on Ozzie Guillen. He is as entertaining as it gets. He would not be very good in a poker game, you wouldn't imagine. Cards are on the table with his expressions. There go the runners, and a 3-2 misses. Ball 4. The bases are loaded. A hit batter and back-to-back walks, and it is the Brewers who load him up.
Ozzie Guillen has seen this game before with Zambrano. Interesting first inning here at Miller Park. When you have a matchup, Zambrano's Greinke, you would think that the pace of the game would be very quick. Base runners are hard to come by. Not the case. Both teams have been able to load the bases in the first inning.
Randy St. Clair, the Marlins pitching coach, a quick word with Zambrano. Maybe just to give him a little breather here. Temperature soaring into the mid-90s today in Milwaukee. We're in the 80s now, mid-80s. But it's still very hot and humid on the field. Nothing like they are dealing with in other parts of the country, though, like Atlanta, out of the Northeast. Ricky Weeks with the bases full. Big spot for Ricky Weeks. Takes ball 2.
Zambrano doesn't want to give him a fastball. I think he's forced to do it now. A couple of breaking pitches off the outside corner. He's got to come in with a strike.
2-0 on Weeks. And a ball outside. Ball 3. Zambrano, you can see his body language a little bit. A little frustrated. Yesterday, Weeks was 1 for 3. Had a double against Josh Colmenter. And he takes ball 4. 3 consecutive walks. The Brewers walk a run in. An RBI the easy way for Ricky Weeks. It's 2-1 Marlins.
At 2 outs, nobody on, a hit batter and 3 walks. The Brewers get one back. Have not hit one out of the infield, and they have a run on the board. A crazy start to this one tonight.
And it'll be Maldonado. Strike 1. Puts a fastball in there. Maldonado hitting at .256 this year. He was 0 for 3 yesterday. Stranded 3 base runners in the win over the Diamondbacks yesterday. He has 3 on right now in his first at bat.
He can't throw a breaking ball for a strike. Says Zambrano's got big movement no matter what he's throwing. Ozzie Guillen's starting to get a little bit irritated.
1 ball, 1 strike on Maldonado. And he hits one sharply, but right at Reyes, and Zambrano is out of the inning. Brewers get a run, 2-1. We head to the second. Over the Brew Crew as we head to the top of the second. Greinke and Zambrano. Well, Zach Greinke in his last 14 starts, a significant sample size, has picked up 8 wins for the Milwaukee Brewers. 8 of his 9 wins coming in his last 14 starts. And just extraordinary numbers across the board. That ERA spectacular at 2.36.
An incredible walk to strikeout ratio for Greinke. 22 walks, 102 strikeouts coming into tonight. And this is where he ranks since April 18th, and still not good enough to make the All-Star team.
Yeah, Brewers fans have a serious beef with that one. Still a chance Greinke could make the All-Star team and participate in Kansas City if there is an injury that comes up, and typically that happens with a few players for this final week before the All-Star break. The first half of the schedule wraps up on Sunday. John Buck sends one high in the air to center, and easing back is Gomez for the first out. Greinke's had 2 bad starts this year. He gave up 8 earned runs against the Cubs on the 12th of April in just 3 2/3 innings, and gave up 7 earned runs against the Diamondbacks in just 2 1/3.
Yeah, that's 15 runs of his 32 earned runs that he's allowed before tonight in 2 starts.
Right, 15 runs in 2 starts. In his other 14 starts, you get the idea. But under an average, that would be challenging for the major league lead at this point. But that's why they call it a season. All the stats count. And by the way, both of those blow-up games occurred on the road as Greinke fires one in on Zambrano, and Darrell Cousins is going to issue warnings. After Braun was hit in the bottom of the first, Greinke returns the message to Carlos Zambrano.
And here it is, and Zambrano able to get out of the way. Greinke right at the hip. And Darrell Cousins warns both benches.
Little jam shot. Weeks will take it on a hop. Got to hurry. The throw is in time. Out number 2.
Hey, on Sunday, July 29th, the Brewers take on the Nationals. All fans in attendance get a Bob Uecker bobblehead, compliments of Time Warner Cable. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com. What'd I miss?
You miss Zambrano running across the field and getting an earful from Brewers fans above the third base dugout.
Nothing more than that?
That's it.
That's it? Okay.
2 outs, top of the order, Jose Reyes. Here's what you missed, Rob.
Says something to Zach Greinke.
Reyes bounces to short. And a low throw, and Hart cannot come up with it. Izturis fired it low, and Corey, who's been great at picking low throws, unable to bring that one in cleanly. That'll be an E6 on Izturis.
And that's what the speed of Jose Reyes will do to you. Izturis knew he had to be very fast getting rid of the baseball, maybe a little bit too fast that time, and spikes it. Tough hop for Hart.
So the inning is extended here, an inning that Greinke could have used a quick one. An error on Izturis. Just to note, because of the warning by Darrell Cousins, anything inside or a hit batter, it's up to the home plate umpire. He'll decide now. It's in his hands to make an ejection. And we're not just talking about the pitcher that is subject to ejection. Because warnings have been issued to both benches, it would be the pitcher and the manager who would be ejected.
Right.
And we'll see how this could change the game.
And you can get ejected even if you don't hit anybody. It's the umpire's discretion, or if he thinks you're trying to hit somebody, he has the opportunity to throw you out. On the same side of that, if somebody gets hit and it doesn't look like it's intentional, Darrell Cousins doesn't have to throw him out.
pop up into foul territory. Hart and Weeks give chase, and Corey Hart bangs against the rail, and it ends up in the seats.
Surprised Jose Reyes isn't trying to steal a base. This is an opportunity to swipe a bag right here. And a good play, good effort by Corey Hart. Coming up a little bit short. Maybe the fan got in his way.
Yeah.
Might have been able to get it.
It's instinct, as Bartman would tell you.
Yeah, you can't fault a fan for going after the baseball. Certainly not in the stands.
But he would have gotten a nice ovation had he backed off and let Corey catch that ball. Just saying. Right. He's a ball player, just like the regular players.
Of course, it might have hit his wife. You don't want that.
Good point. You'd rather 30,000 be upset. Hey, Greinke picks off Jose Reyes to end the inning. Now, as we head to break, we want to send our condolences to the family of Jeff Adcock, a beloved member of the Brewers family. 33 years with the Brewers on the ground crew. He was the lead on the ground crew of the home bullpen. He died at the age of 51 yesterday, Rock.
Yeah, what a great guy, a fun-loving guy. Really knew the game of baseball. Big Brewer fan, and you know he's been around here so long. He and I used to sit in the bullpen at Old County Stadium together when I was in the bullpen. Well, he's going to be missed. Good guy, Jeff Adcock.
Brewers coming up here in the home second at Miller Park. 2-1 Marlins. Zambrano back on the mound with his Turris leading off. His Turris batting in the 8th spot here tonight. Greinke will follow, and then back to the top of the order, Carlos Gomez. His Turris lines one to right center. That is going to split the gap and head to the wall as his Turris thinking about threes on his way. And the throw comes in late. How about a leadoff triple for Cesar Turris?
Well, that baseball just scooting all the way to the warning track, and his Turris doing a nice job going down to get one. Check it out. Looked like that sinker from Zambrano going away from him. He just golfs it out of here. A bullet right into the gap, just kept going. Giano picks it up, no chance of getting him at third base. That was a nice swing by Cesar Turris.
Well, the way he's running here on a hot day, it's great to see him leg it out. Here's Turris, safe at third, safe and secure. New York life. His Turris missed some time with a hamstring injury, but running like that, he looks like he is 100%.
Yeah, this is good weather for anybody that has any type of a leg issue. Hamstring, groin. Easy weather to stay loose.
First triple of the year for his tourist. Now Greinke is up with the infield end. Ron Roenicke, the leader among National League managers in squeeze bunts, and knowing that, the Marlins pitch out. This is a luxury you have with Zach Greinke at the plate. He's a good hitter. He's a guy who handles the bat well, typically makes contact. And Greinke hammers one to center. Back is Ruggiano, plenty deep to score this run. Is Turris to tie.
And just the idea of the suicide squeeze. Zambrano throws one right down the middle for Greinke,
and he hit it right on the nose.
Now the Brewers come back and tie it. Nice to see the bottom of the order. When those guys are able to get the job done like that, that's good news.
First RBI of the year for Zach Greinke. Oh, and he blistered one to center field. Base is clean for Gomez now with one away. 2-2 ball game. The Brewers still have just one hit. That triple by his Turris. Well, Zambrano is getting it and going as fast as he can go. And Gomez, a similar strategy at the plate. He doesn't like stepping out. He'd rather just stand in there and swing the bat.
But you almost have to. You have to step out on Zambrano. We talk about this every time he's on the mound. He likes to work quickly, step out, make him wait, irritate him a little bit. That's how you get to this guy.
Gomez checks in today with a batting average of .243. He grounded out his first time up. Hasn't been the same kind of hitter since he went out with the hamstring injury. Just about a month on the schedule. He was off to a great start this year, Carlos Gomez. He's hitting just .222 since being reinstated from the DL. Prior to going on the disabled list, he was hitting .280. That was back in May, his stint on the disabled list. Now, yesterday, Gomez did it with his legs. Speaking of a guy with healthy wheels now.
And pinch running for Aramis Ramirez, the stolen base. The E2, he gets to third base, and now a throwing error in center field by Gerardo Parra. Hits Gomez in the back, into the seats, and the Brewers win 2-1.
Brewers decked out in their green tops, with Barai tops. Italian Heritage Day.
Now, what do you call that? A walk-off what?
That is going to be a walk-off error, I would go with. How did you call it? How about you just call it a walk-off?
A walk-off something.
Gomez strikes out. Second out of the inning. First strikeout for Zambrano. Well, don't miss the biggest event of the summer. Baseball's greatest stars battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 MLB All-Star Game, Tuesday, July 10th, 6:30 p.m. Central, only on Fox. At the Home Run Derby on Monday, the All-Star Game Tuesday. Brewers will take a couple of days off Wednesday and Thursday. Those not participating in the All-Star festivities. And then back at work Friday here at Miller Park, the 13th of July.
That'd be nice. 4 days off for the team, and then a nice long homestand. Opportunity for Milwaukee to do some damage. They've already won the first series here before the break at Miller Park.
Now the Brewers with 4 of 5 series at home in and around the All-Star break. When the Brewers come back from the All-Star break, it'll be a 3-game series with the Pirates, who have been a big surprise this year, and they're hanging right in the race in the Central. And then the Cardinals come to town. Brewers haven't seen the Cardinals at Miller Park since the first series of the season. Way back April 8th ending. Morgan a little flare. Foul territory. Ramirez makes the play to end the inning. Brewers get a run though. Zach Greinke with a sac fly. All even at 2.
Tied at 2, and let's check out our Car Soup email the booth question for tonight. How do you feel, or who do you feel is the biggest snub from the All-Star team this year? That's Scott from Stoddard.
What do you think? Or Matt from Stoddard.
Oh, that's Matt from Stoddard.
Scott from Mattard. What do you think, Rock? What's on your mind today? We've heard about Zach Greinke.
Well, it's got to be the 2 pitchers in the National League, right? Yeah. Zach Greinke and Johnny Cueto. Johnny Cueto not real happy about it.
No, he's not. Nor is Dusty Baker. The selection that's been news today.
Is it a surprise that the biggest snubs, talking about Greinke and Cueto, are from the National League Central Division?
Not a surprise at all. Now, Aaron Hill, also a snub, I would call it, with 2 cycles this year, but he is at least on the final 5 voting, which is going to be another interesting debate. Part of the final 5 with Chipper Jones and Bryce Harper on opposite ends of the spectrum.
You certainly don't hope there was some type of an agenda here. I can't believe that would be the case.
Certainly not. Tony La Russa certainly doesn't agree with that assessment. Dusty Baker was pretty vocal about the snub of Johnny Cueto. I think Cueto and Greinke have a beef. In Tony La Russa's defense, it is always tough to select a starting rotation, pitching staff. The starters versus the relievers as Greinke walks Hanley Ramirez. Dusty Baker, his comments today, I figured that Joey would make it. Joey Votto he's talking about. Jay Bruce made it. But no Brandon Phillips and no Johnny Cueto. And Dusty brought up the skirmish between the La Russa-led Cardinals and the Reds. And, he opened up the can right there, and I think makes it an interesting discussion.
I can't blame him.
Brandon Phillips is the best second baseman in the National League, in my opinion.
Offensively and defensively right now.
Greinke has to go to first. Nobody was home at second base. His Turris was late to cover, and Greinke had to settle for the out at first base. He wanted to go to second.
A little bit of a late break, and I'm not sure what Turris was doing. I didn't think that he thought that Greinke had to play at second. Greinke, very good fielder. around the pitcher's mound. He gets out quickly, gets off the mound quickly. As Scott from Stoddard would tell you. How do you get Scott out of Matt?
That is some serious psychoanalysis we'll have to embark on at a later time.
Well, we've only got 6 more innings. Make it 7 more innings. Boy.
We could just blame it on the heat. Well, but I think, you know, like you said, Rock, it doesn't matter how many people are on the All-Star team, and Major League Baseball expanded the rosters in 2010, added a DH no matter the venue in 2010. There's always going to be snubs, and it doesn't mean that as Morrison drives one down the right field line, base hit, that will bring in a run. Morrison on his way to second. The throw comes to the wrong cutoff man, and Morrison, noticing that, ends up at second base.
No, that would have been a double anyway, probably down in the corner. You know, Nigel Morgan chasing that ball down the right field line in the corner, and Morrison able to get a pitch up in the strike zone and pull it down that line. I'm not sure if Nigel would have been able to get there quickly enough to be able to get Morrison at second base, but he does drive in the run.
So the Marlins back on top 3-2. RBI double by Logan Morrison. Part of the charm of the All-Star game is, just like the NCAA tournament, is a discussion about the snubs and who you think, especially if they're your guys. And the Brewers, they really don't have any interest in Johnny Cueto and the Reds. They're upset that Greinke wasn't added to that team, but somebody's got to be left off. And you know, if you're a conspiracy theorist, 2 teams in the Central Division, the same division as the Cardinals, have players left off.
That mixed it up with those Cardinals. No love lost. But it makes for great banter, doesn't it?
I thought La Russa made a fair point yesterday on the All-Star selection show. You know, most managers who are All-Star managers, they don't have the luxury of watching games. You know, they're busy with their team and preparing against the opponent. Tony La Russa said yesterday he's been dialed in on games since April. He's been watching games. He works for Major League Baseball now, so he's been able to see everyone play, and he's been formulating his team. And
just a unique situation with the All-Star manager this year. Not often that a manager wins the World Series and then retires. What do you do?
right.
Well, baseball has decided to let Tony La Russa manage the game.
Justin Ruggiano batting with 1 out and a runner at second. The Brewers have just 1 All-Star selection, Ryan Braun. The Marlins just 1. As Ruggiano lifts that one deep to left field. Braun running out of room, and Ruggiano sends one way out of here. A 2-run homer. Zach Greinke doesn't give up many, especially in this ballpark. But Ruggiano gets him his second hit, and Ruggiano has 4 RBIs in this game.
Yep, it's only the 5th home run that Zach Greinke's allowed this year. And Ruggiano gave it a ride. No cheapie for the right-hander. Left one up and in, and Ruggiano able to pop open the hips, pull the hands in, and run one out of here on Greinke. We don't see that very often here at Miller Park.
Home run number 3 for Ruggiano. This guy's made an impact with his bat. Had a 2 RBI single in the first. It was a bad hop single that bounced over Ramirez's glove. And a 2-run homer here in the third. 5-2 Miami. This feels a lot like the game that Greinke pitched against the Diamondbacks earlier this year, when he ran into a bases loaded jam in the first inning, had to exert himself more than he normally does, and would go on and give up 7 earned runs in that game against Arizona in just 2 1/3. And on a hot night, Greinke had the bases loaded with nobody out in the first inning and had to go to his A stuff. We saw a couple of fastballs at 96 miles an hour in the first inning. The hard sliders. And you have to wonder what it took out of Greinke moving forward.
Just one of those nights at the old ballpark. You can't be on your game every time you go out there, but Zach Greinke's been pretty close. Leaving some pitches up in his zone. Getting behind an account from time to time. That's something you don't see from Zach very much.
Ramirez scoops it up. Dobbs is out. Second out of the inning. Three runs in for the Marlins here in the third. Here's Omar Infante. Corey Hardo give it a look. Out of play. Infante was the final out. He stranded a couple of runners in the first inning. Didn't see either manager, Ron Washington or Tony La Russa, make the full play for the utility guy like we saw when Omar Infante was selected as an All-Star in the 2010 All-Star game.
Yeah, the Marlins feel as though he might have had a shot at it. He's had a nice year, hitting almost 290.
Ramirez gobbles this one up, and Greinke is out of the inning, but the Marlins score 3 runs. Logan Morrison and Justin Ruggiano. Ruggiano with a 2-run homer. 4 RBIs for Ruggiano, and it is 5-2 Miami. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. Roof is open, summertime in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And the Marlins up 5-2 after scoring 3 runs in the top of the third inning. Now the Brewers, for the second time tonight, will have to play comeback. Answered a 2-run first inning by the Marlins. Ryan Braun leads off against Zambrano and gets under one. First pitch swinging, Ryan Braun. Out number 1 to Stanton. Well, Zambrano walked Ricky Weeks with the bases loaded in the first inning. He issued 3 walks in order in the first inning. And there was a 4-batter stretch. It went hit batter and then those 3 walks.
It's kind of the way it's been for Zambrano lately. We talked about his last 3 starts. He'd averaged 5 walks, but hasn't given up too many hits. 1 hit today, but 3 walks, and he's given up 2 runs. When you talk to the Marlins, they'll tell you it's mechanics, particularly with the angle of his wrist when he gets rid of the baseball. Sometimes when he kind of tilts it a little bit, he gets a little bit too much run on it. Marlins have been keeping a close eye on him on that.
Ramirez on a hop. Reyes, nice play. 2 outs in the inning for Zambrano.
Hey, come out to Miller Park for the Negro Leagues tribute game on Saturday, July 28th. The Brewers will wear special uniforms as a tribute to the Milwaukee Bears. Call 414-902-4000.
Sounds strange, right? The Milwaukee Bears. But not in a baseball context, it doesn't. Hope those uniforms aren't made out of wool like they were when the Bears played.
Right. Well, the Brewers have done that in years past. What's it been, the last 2-3 years? The white with the blue.
Corey Hart sends one to right. He's going to stay in the park. And Zambrano with his best inning yet. 3 up and 3 down. Brewers go quietly in the bottom of the 3rd.
Keys to the game. Zach Greinke's given up 5 runs on 5 hits. 2 of them coming against Ruggiano, a 2-run single in the first, and then a 2-run home run off of Zach. Or the 5th home run allowed by Greinke, 2nd here at Miller Park this year.
Ruggiano has 4 runs batted in with his 2 hits. 5-2 Marlins, the most runs that Greinke has given up at home all season. It had been 2. He's given up 5 earnings tonight. And imperative to keep the Marlins right where they are moving forward. The Brewers are down 3. It's a hitterish kind of night, though. Ball's jumping pretty well this evening. John Buck leads off. It'll be John Buck, then Zambrano, then back to the top of the order, Jose Reyes.
Yeah, because Zambrano's given up 19 runs in his last 4 starts.
I feel like there's a big inning in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Buck grounds it sharply to Weeks. Nice play. Sets his feet. Low throw. Look at Corey Hart pick it. And the more you see him play, the more impressed at first base. Corey Hart.
Yeah, that's something that is not easy to pick up as quickly as it seems he's been able to pick it up. That short hop, the in-between hop in particular, and that's what Ricky just gave to him there. Keep his foot on the bag, and that 6'6" frame, he needed every bit of it. And Ricky Weeks giving him pointing the finger at him, saying thank you very much. One of the reasons that Ron Renicky says the defense has improved so much.
No question. Corey Hart has been a major part of that. And then you make a play like this, it's a lot like when a pitcher throws a slider in the dirt and a catcher blocks it. You're going to throw better sliders when you do that because you're freed up. And I think the infielders with Corey Hart over there at first base are freed up to make throws. Psychologically, they're in a better place with that 6'6" target over there. Zambrano sends one out to Gomez. Out number 2. Well, a reminder that you can log on to foxsportswisconsin.com. You can look for the Eagle River Going Gone banner to find out how you can win a 1-week family vacation for 4 to Eagle River. What's the drive time from Miller Park to Eagle River, Ron?
About 4 hours.
It's a piece of cake.
Not bad at all. It's a nice drive, actually. Nice and relaxing. You been?
I have not. It's on my list, though. I have not been up north. This is my 6th year here, and it has taken me the previous 5 to get used to the notion that there's something more north than Milwaukee.
Right. Well, you're working, in the summertime, and you actually work deep into October, so which, in my estimation, I think best time of the year to be up there.
Right, when the leaves are changing.
Good fishing up there, and great spots to hang out.
Yeah, our first couple of years here, folks would say, yeah, we're heading up north to the cabin. And see, when you're from Texas, Milwaukee's pretty well about as north as you think.
You're already north.
You think Chicago's north. So then you got to get used to it. I'm looking forward to doing that. Been to Sheboygan. It's about as north as I've gone. Elkhart Lake.
With your golf clubs, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Did he go? No, he didn't. Third base umpire Dan Bellino didn't buy the sell job by Martin Maldonado. I love how Maldonado makes his own appeal calls.
Yep.
Which you can't do, really. I mean, you can do it, but the umpires won't give the catcher an appeal. He has to wait for the home plate umpire. There's a strike called. Reyes is rung up. A 1-2-3 inning for Zach Greinke with a strikeout. Bottom of the 4th coming up.
Fourth inning, time to check in with the crew and the community. Once again this season at Miller Park, not only do fans hope to leave the ballpark with a Brewers win, but they can also win in the 50-50 raffle each night. Half the proceeds raised goes to help the wonderful programs of the Brewers Community Foundation, and the other half goes to one lucky fan each night. So far this season, over $820,000 have been raised at the ballpark. Make sure to get your ticket next time you're at Miller Park. Brian.
All right, Telly, thanks. We are headed to the bottom of the fourth, and the Brewers coming up. Ricky Weeks will lead off. Carlos Zambrano, after a 3-up, 3-down third inning. Zambrano has retired the last 6 batters. Brewers were able to tie it on a Greinke sac fly in the second, but the Marlins responded with 3 runs in the third. And center fielder Justin Ruggiano has dealt a couple of big blows in this game. 2 RBIs on a single in the first, and then the 2-run homer in the third. Ricky Weeks walked with the bases loaded. His 23rd RBI of the season. Carlos Zambrano had his shining moment of his career right here at Miller Park, and it did not involve the Brewers. He threw a no-hitter here at Miller Park, playing the Houston Astros. Zambrano pitching for the Cubs in the Road Grays that day, September 14th of 2008. The Astros, you notice, wore the Road Gray pants as well. They were upset. Yes, they were the home team, but they were upset at Major League Baseball that the game was scheduled for Milwaukee after
Look at a lot of Cub fans at Miller Park.
And that's why.
Yeah.
It was Zambrano's day and a no-hitter, and the next day Ted Lilly took a no-hitter into the 7th inning against the Astros through 7 innings.
All the problems that the Houston area had at that time, you had to figure those players were worried about more than just a baseball game. Family back in Houston, and
hurricanes came through, and flooding and all kind of damage. So they were unable to play that game at Minute Maid Park. They sent them to Miller Park. Maldonado out to Stanton. Second out of the inning. Check our AT&T trivia question. Which 2007 draft pick made his MLB debut first? Giancarlo Stanton or Jonathan Lucroy? That's a good question. Jonathan Lucroy, I spoke to him today. He's on the comeback trail, had his cast off, and that broken hand is healing well. Hoping to see Lucroy back probably in a month or so if all goes well. He's hoping to be back sooner than that. I think the Brewers will be pretty cautious depending on where they are in the pennant race. Right now they're 7 back.
Yeah, don't want to rush him.
There's no hurry with Lucroy. But I know Jonathan's anxious to get back on the field. He is hoping to come back strong. He's been doing all he can. He's actually been catching bullpens recently. The injured hand is his right hand.
Even with how well Maldonado has done, they have certainly missed his bat in the lineup. Lucroy off to a tremendous start this year. They've missed him.
He is a major presence at the plate as his Turris lifts one in the air, shallow right. Back is Infante. He'll give way to Stanton for the out, inning over. Zambrano has now retired 9 straight.
5-2 here in the fifth, and tonight's time of the game winner. Otter's in Randolph. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Well, our minor league report. Jason Rogers, an infielder at Brevard County, named the Florida State League Player of the Week. And how about Eric Ferris? We saw a little bit of Ferris in the big leagues last couple of seasons, and Ferris has hit safely in 11 of his last 12 games, playing all over the infield in Nashville. Brewers are going to be relying heavily on that minor league system in the coming years. They certainly have leaned on that system a great deal this year, probably a little earlier than they had hoped. The Brewers have a lot of talented young pitching prospects, mostly at the lower levels. Tyler Thornburg is in Double-A. Thornburg still leads the organization in victories with 8. Michael Garza is the top hitter throughout the minor league system as Hanley Ramirez unloads on one to left field. And Braun is there to make the catch. Must have hit that one off the end of the bat. He had a home run swing on it.
And he had a home run trot. By the time Braun caught that one up against the wall, Ramirez had barely got to first base.
AT&T trivia question. Is it Lucroy or Stanton first in the big leagues coming out of the 2007 draft? And it was Jonathan Lucroy. He was here about 3 weeks before Giancarlo Stanton. Bouncing ball, a hot one. Nice play, Ramirez on a tough hop. And there is out number 2. I think you could see a guy like Stanton and Lucroy. You could see them in multiple All-Star games.
Yeah, nice play by Aramis Ramirez on an in-between hop and able to get him. I think you're right. I think both of them are going to be around a while. Lucroy signing a long-term deal this year.
Stanton, an All-Star for the first time this season at the tender age of 22. Lucroy just turned 26. He was having an All-Star season before the injury. It would have been very interesting to see how that would have been flushed out on the All-Star team if Lucroy had not gotten hurt, because there have been some pretty big years put up by National League catchers this year. Carlos Ruiz and Yadier Molina. Buster Posey was named as the starter. Giants fans really stepped up the fan voting.
Yes, they did. Yeah. Pablo Sandoval beating out David Wright. That was a surprise.
I was talking to a friend of mine who works in the Giants front office. He said they're probably a day away from getting Brandon Crawford voted in as the All-Star starter. So Greinke with a 1-2-3 inning, moving along here as we go to the bottom of the 5th. 5-2, the Marlins lead the Brew Crew as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Zach Greinke leads off. Great to have you with us tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Brewers baseball this evening, starting a 4-game series with the Marlins of Miami. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Telly Hughes, Chris Withers, and Kevin Shank, our producer and director tonight. You saw in that video montage the warning issued by Darryl Cousins. That came in the 2nd inning, and this game has been played with those warnings in place. The last time that has happened, as Greinke hits a little cue shot that rolls back fair, and Greinke an easy out. Rock, you might remember Game 1 of the National League Championship Series against Cardinals. There were early warnings in that game, and it was Greinke and Jaime Garcia. And there have been a lot of bad blood between the Cardinals and the Brewers, and that warning came out early, I think the 1st inning. And I thought the way the pitchers pitched changed at that moment and changed maybe the outcome of the game. Greinke, I believe, gave up 6 earned runs that day. Garcia was out in the 5th inning.
Guys are afraid to pitch inside when you get warnings like that, but I think that was a good decision.
Gomez hits that one hard to left, and it's up and out of here. Carlos Gomez with a home run. Number 5 of the year for Gomez. And it's a 5-3 Brewers deficit.
Carlos Gomez putting a charge into that one. It's that sinker, changeup, something. I'm not sure what you call it, but a little off speed, and Gomez able to wait back on it and line it out of here. A bullet to left. Brewers coming back.
Gomez homered on Saturday, number 5 here tonight. Solo shot makes it 5-3. Here's Nyjer Morgan.
But I think that was a good decision by Darryl Cousins tonight. You know, the warning. You know, Zambrano hits Braun, and then Greinke comes in on Zambrano, and particularly important because Greinke was coming up the next inning. You don't want Zambrano taking liberties with your starting pitcher.
Well, it certainly puts the pitcher, whoever that may be, in the rest of the game. And I thought you made a good point, and bears repeating that. Just because a batter gets hit moving forward now doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be ejected. And the manager is also ejected. And just because he may not be hit doesn't mean you can't eject him. So it's up to the umpire's discretion. That is off the glove of Ramirez. Nyjer Morgan not stopping, throw to second. And Ramirez, and he gets Morgan.
And not a good decision right there. And that was Ryan Braun coming up.
So you get the sense that Nyjer just trying to do too much right now. He's hustling, he's aggressive. But that was an easy out at second base.
No, that only easy out because after the error, Hanley Ramirez jumps on this ball very quickly and able to throw, make a pretty good throw over to second base and get Nyjer easily at second. One hopper, Nyjer deciding to take off. You had better make it easily with Ryan Braun walking to the plate. Had Hanley Ramirez not gotten back there quickly, Nyjer Morgan would have been safe. A good hustle by Ramirez after making the error.
So Braun bats with the bases empty.
And sometimes when you're having a down season and things aren't going well for you, you try to do too much, as you mentioned, be a little bit too aggressive when it really doesn't call for it. Ryan Rennick doesn't mind making aggressive outs on the bases, but you got to be smart about it. You have to know who's coming up, and you got to know what the score is.
Well, instead of Braun representing the tying run, and he's certainly capable of a long ball at any time. 2 outs in the inning. Braun takes a strike. 1-2 now. After those warnings in the second inning, both pitchers, Zambrano and Greinke, have still continued the game plan of pitching inside. I mean, they haven't wavered from that. I think the stakes are a little higher in the postseason, as we saw in the LCS last year. But it doesn't seem like Zambrano or Greinke have altered from their game plan. Matter of fact, Braun, next time up, was pitched inside again.
Greinke spun a couple of guys off the plate.
He'll tap her out to second base, and it gets by Infante. And Braun has to hustle back to first base. That might have been a ball Braun could have reached second base.
I'll tell you, some shoddy defense, back-to-back errors by the Marlins. Let's see how they score this one. I think if Infante picks it up right away, it's going to be an out. A high chopper off the plate. Infante off the heel of the glove, and if he does get it in the glove, Brian Braun's going to be an out.
Well, the speed of Braun put the pressure on Infante.
Well, they haven't scored it yet. They're thinking about it.
It'll go as an infield hit. Now the tying run is at the plate. Aramis Ramirez. And Zambrano throws it away. Braun on his way to second. Will stop there. The second error of the inning.
Wow. Marlon just throwing the ball all over the place. That's not a bad throw. That's got to be an E3.
Yeah, you may be right.
And Zambrano, that's not as bad a throw as it looked initially. Dobbs should have had it.
Again, a former big league shortstop and a very good one. A stickler for defensive principles, has seen his defense let him down here. 2 errors on the board in this inning. Marlins overall with 54 errors. They are in the bottom half of the league defensively. A base hit will bring the Brewers within a run. A long ball will tie it. Everything has been away to Aramis Ramirez in his at-bats against Zambrano tonight. Ramirez walked in the first. He grounded out to short in the third. Outside corner strike.
Ramirez lately has been able to drive balls to the opposite field, particularly down that right field line. Zambrano stays out there and he leaves one up. Ramirez not afraid to go that way.
Ramirez, center field. Did he get it? Back is Ruggiano at the wall. He's got it for the out. Just missed it. And the inning ends in center field, but the Brewers do go deep. Carlos Gomez, with his 5th of the season, makes it a 5-3 game. Behind the scenes look at how EA Sports brings NCAA football 13 to life. Read a story now, foxsportswisconsin.com. 5-3 as we go to the 6th, and the roof is beginning to close.
That means rain is on its way. And boy, do we need rain
be good to
around
have
these
some
parts, huh?
We'll take a little sauna effect inside Miller Park for a little rain, no problem.
Rather have that than a rain delay.
Very well put.
Is your grass brown out there in Lake Country?
It's all brown. Just browning out.
Yeah. Need some rain.
It's a Kentucky bluegrass, though. It's very hardy. It'll come back. She's closing up. I saw the roof closed last night on my way home in the wee hours. I was wondering why it was closed. Foul tip into the bit of Maldonado, who hangs on. Ruggiano is out. A strikeout for Zach Greinke. That's been his nemesis tonight, Justin Ruggiano.
It's only his 3rd strikeout tonight.
Well, when the roof closes in the summertime in Milwaukee here at Miller Park, and it's hot like this, you think the ball's flying when it's open. It'll really go. I bet Ramos Ramirez is saying, boy, why couldn't that roof be closed just 5 minutes earlier?
Everybody has their own opinion as to the roof conditions to make the ball travel better. You talk to different hitters, you talk to pitchers. Everybody's going to tell you something different. It travels better with the roof closed and the panels open. Roof open, panels closed, all those types of things.
Yeah.
But
Dobbs with a base hit back up the middle.
let's face it, the ball travels pretty well here regardless. Hey ladies, August 18th is Brewers All Access for Women presented by Associated Bank. The event includes a game ticket, tailgate party, and an exclusive program. Learn more at brewers.com/access.
Well, you've seen about every game here at Miller Park and its existence.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that when everything's opened up, that's when the ball flies the best, in my opinion. Now you ask everybody down in that Brewers dugout, it'll probably be 50-50.
The Brewers they keep statistics about the roof closed, open, like Rock said. One thing to bear in mind, that a lot of times when the roof is closed, those games are played in cold conditions.
Right.
So the air temperature is a lot cooler, which is why the roof is closed. So I'm not sure you can go straight to the stats.
Right.
But I do know the ball travels better when it's heated up, and when the roof's closed, it heats up.
Hey, this is a good hitter's ballpark. I don't care what you do with the roof or the glass panels. This is a good ballpark to hit home runs.
Unlike the new Marlins ballpark, a retractable roof stadium, and that is a pitcher's park. It is a very big park. Bouncing ball is Turris to Weeks. The turn, not in time to get it from Monte. 2 outs in the inning. I think the most memorable roof closed hot night probably had to be the Home Run Derby in 2002.
Man.
Now, I wasn't here for that, but
I was.
There's legendary stories.
I was down in the field for that home run hitting contest, and it was hot. I mean, hot and humid. It was amazing. That's the hottest I think I've ever been in a stadium. Ever. Of course, you can heat up Miller Park, but you can't cool it off.
Yeah, no AC in here. Except for this little fan that Rock has here in the booth.
You have the breeze machine.
That's the only conditioned air in the entire stadium. How is the breeze machine cranked up?
Well, you see right here, breeze machine.
That's nice.
To have it going up a little bit so it can go over my head and hit you just a little bit.
It takes the stink away. Yeah, you got to give it a little elevation or else that air will never get to me.
You can't hear it though. That's why they call it a breeze machine.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a staple here in the booth.
If it was too loud, we couldn't use it.
Matter of fact, Rock only keeps the 2 monitors in its current state just to hold up the breeze machine. A swinging strike on John Buck. Speaking of stink, a fan with his own opinion, or her own opinion.
That's a good one. Creative.
White Sox, they don't stink though. They're a good team. They're a first place team in the American League Central. Maybe Ozzy's White Sox, it's referencing. Couldn't have a greater contrast than Ozzie Guillen to Robin Ventura.
Right. And the White Sox have responded very well to Robin Ventura. Maybe just what they needed.
Two balls, 2 strikes on John Buck.
Ozzie with the long sleeves out here tonight.
Always. Runner goes. 3-2 pitch. He went. Buck strikes out, and he is roaring mad at Darryl Cousins, and out he goes. And now Buck's going to get his save. Buck was walking back, but Cousins threw him out. So a little excitement as we wrap up the top of the 6th. Greinke strikes out the big catcher. 5-3. Brewers down a pair. Buck didn't think he went. Darryl Cousins disagreed. Presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By the new Miller Lite Punch Top Can. It's Miller time. And by the new Summer Barbecue Menu at Burger King. Let's have a barbecue today. Oh, and big drama today, Rock, in the sausage race.
Look at the Italian go, huh?
Inspired after Italian Heritage Day yesterday. It is carried over to today. Well done. Good finishing kick by the Italian. Well, John Buck ejected from this game. Zach Greinke struck him out. Former teammates in Kansas City, Greinke and Buck. And Buck thought he would check to swing and was tossed out of here. Hanley Ramirez throws it away. Another error by the Marlins.
A double error this time. That's going to be 4 errors for Miami. Wow. Hanley Ramirez now with 3 errors in this game. There's 1 error. Well, 1 error is the throw that allows Corey to get to first base. And here's the second one when it goes into the seats. Rough day at the office for Hanley Ramirez.
Well, Ramirez committed an error last inning. Well, that's a big one. The Marlins had 2 errors last inning. Could have had 3. And that's going to put a runner in scoring position in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ricky Weeks coming up. I've been paying close attention to Carlos Zambrano. You mentioned at the outset of the broadcast that Zambrano has changed his demeanor a little bit. You know, no longer getting flustered, out of control on the mound, and he's actually been very good after these errors, these meltdowns. He's been stoic.
Looks like they're only going to give him 1 error.
The 2-base throwing error officially scored.
Yeah. Had he bobbled it and then threw it wildly, that would have been 2 errors.
Brett Hayes, the new catcher, by the way. So if there was ever a night when Zambrano's anger management skills were tested, it would be tonight. His defense has not supported him very well. A calmer, gentler Carlos Zambrano.
Yeah, that's what the Marlins have been saying, and it's been proven to be true tonight, at least so far. You know, it started early in the season. Remember Heath Bell, the problems that he had. He blew three straight saves. Every save was a blown save for Carlos Zambrano.
And only 4 wins compared to 6 losses for Zambrano, and yet an ERA coming into play today at 3.71. Zambrano has lost his last 3 decisions. Including a loss last time out against the Cardinals. It's a big spot for him. His pitch count is beginning to rise. Zambrano has had to make a number of extra pitches in the last 2 innings because of the errors.
93 pitches for Zambrano.
That breaking ball missed. So Weeks in the driver's seat, 3-1. Bullpen activity for Miami. Ryan Webb. Tying run at the plate. And Weeks takes ball 4. Second time he's walked against Zambrano. 2 on. The tying run is aboard. And Martin Maldonado will hit. Fans, you can register now for the 2013 Brewers Fantasy Camp next February. We salute Team Streak 1987 Milwaukee Brewers. You can relive the 13-0 start, Paul Molitor's hitting streak, Juan Nieves' no-hitter. An all-inclusive package. Uniform, airfare, hotel, daily games coached by Brewers from the 87 team. All at the Brewers' beautiful spring training complex in Phoenix, Arizona. Just call 262-679-3612. Brewers.com/fantasy camp. Probably the easiest way. And you can also go on the Brewers Fantasy Camp Twitter page at Brewers Fan Camp.
Get all the information you need to know how to sign up. Jim Gantner will be there. He was part of the 87 team.
All right. They're putting together a nice group. Martin Maldonado with 2 on, nobody out. Pickoff play. Zambrano on the ropes a little bit here. An error to start it on a routine ground ball to Ramirez. Hanley Ramirez. Tying run at first. Maldonado bunts. It's a good one. This is going to go for a hit. Martin Maldonado puts it in a perfect spot. And the bases are loaded with nobody out in the sixth.
Yeah, bunted it a little bit too hard, but he put it in a pretty good spot. He rolled it right by Zambrano. Hanley Ramirez went back to the bag at third. Check it out. Zambrano not able to get there. He thought Ramirez was going to be able to make the play, but Ramirez was holding the ground. Zambrano had the line, and he stopped. Had he kept going, he might have had a play at third base. Watch Zambrano. He's on his way over there. He stops, thinking that Hanley Ramirez is going to make the play.
Here's Turris right back to the mound. It goes 1, 2, 3, double play. Boy, that is a killer.
Yeah, on the first pitch.
And with the pitcher coming up, and that's going to mean Zach Greinke will be pulled back.
Well, he couldn't ask for an easier double play. The old 1, 2 to 3 double play, and these are his Turris, and easy out at first base. Wow.
So 2 outs now, still runners at second and third, but the complexion of this inning just changed drastically. And that means Greinke is going to be lifted for a pinch hitter. I think Greinke would have liked to have seen Greinke go one more. Thinking a big hit there to tie the game. Nobody out, you don't know, but the double play makes it a moot point, and Greinke has to pull his starter.
And Greinke only won over the minimum for the last 3 innings. He got stronger as the night went on, but the Brewers need some offense.
Travis Ishikawa now. And Milwaukee in desperate need of a big hit, a pick-me-up here. Well, Zambrano has been given new life. He is hopping around on the mound. Ishikawa had a good cut. Fouls it back, 1-1.
And Travis Ishikawa has not had too many at bats since coming off the disabled list. In a big spot right now. Looking for a fastball, something middle in.
Just 2 for 15 as a pinch hitter this year. 1-2 the count on Ishikawa. Ishikawa spent time on the DL with an oblique injury, about a month. He was back from the DL on the 23rd of June. But just 1 for 7 at the plate. His at-bats have been few and far between. 2-2. Zambrano seeing a way out of this mess. Bases loaded, nobody out. A 1-2-3 double play off the bat of his Turris. And the Brewers are in danger of coming up empty here in the 6th. A base hit, however, could tie it up. Ishikawa into center field, a base hit. Weak scores. Maldonado to the plate. He will score. All tied at 5.
What a big lift from Milwaukee. Ishikawa with a big 2-out base hit with 2 strikes. There you go. Guys picking each other up at the bottom of the order. Guys have been productive down there tonight. 2-2 pitch, one of those sinking fastballs that he left up and out over the plate. Ishikawa got jammed, but able to dump it into center, and 2 runs come across, and we're all tied again. Boy, those 2-out hits like that, they are huge in that Brewers dugout.
5-5. Here's Gomez, who homered his last time up. Zambrano stays. Second time the Brewers have been able to answer a Marlins rally. They're down 2-0, came back to tie it. Oh, Gomez unleashing the hounds. It was 2-0. Brewers tied it in the second inning. Then it was 5-2, and the Brewers come back with a run in the fifth and 2 here in the sixth. Greinke still has a chance to win this game if the Brewers can take the lead in this inning. And his unbeaten streak will continue as we are all tied up. Gomez strikes out, but the Brewers get it done. Travis Ishikawa squares it at 5. By Toyota. Led twice. The Brewers have come back twice. It was Ruggiano driving in a pair in the first inning. Justin Ruggiano then hit a 2-run homer in the third. 4 RBIs tonight for the Marlins center fielder. Carlos Gomez, a home run in the fifth. That made it 5-3. And then Travis Ishikawa, a 2-out, 2-strike, 2 RBI single to even it up in the bottom of the sixth. And that's where we sit. Heading to the seventh now. The Marlins will bat. New pitcher for Milwaukee as Cameron Lowe enters the game. Well, Greinke is out. 6 innings tonight for Zach Greinke. And his unbeaten streak at Miller Park will continue after that comeback by the Brew Crew.
No, 33rd appearance for Cameron Lowe. Last pitched on Friday against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Pitched a 3-up, 3-down 8th inning. A 4-2 record, a .334 earned run average.
Zambrano scheduled to hit. Austin Kearns will pinch hit for Miami. The former Red. Kearns takes one inside from Cameron Lowe. It'll be up to the bullpens the rest of the way here. The sinker baller Cameron Lowe. He yanks that one foul. Kearns was with the Indians last season. Played just 57 games for Cleveland. Brewers fans, you might remember Kearns is a member of the Cincinnati Reds back in the early 2000s. Spent time with the Nationals. with the Indians on 2 occasions. And he was a New York Yankee briefly in 2010.
Yeah, they thought the Cincinnati Reds thought Austin Kearns was going to be something special. He started out pretty well, hit some home runs. A series of injuries has slowed him down.
First round draft pick back in '98. Right called. Low rings the bell on Kearns. Out number 1. Cameron Lowe strikes out the pinch hitter.
Well, when Cameron Lowe gets on top of that sinker, it moves a lot. Look at the way that ball goes down as it gets to home plate. Kearns thought it was low. It might have been. A little bit too close to take with 2 strikes. Ozzie Guillen can't believe it.
Top of the order, Jose Reyes. Lowe looks like he's got a good sinker ball tonight. He's got a lot of downward movement. When he gets in trouble, he leaves those sinkers up, and they get hit hard.
Arms drops a little bit. It has a tail instead of a sink, and you're right, they flatten out and become very hittable.
Reyes bunts the top half of that baseball to foul it away. I mean, Reyes is a very accomplished bunter. That gives you an idea of the movement that Lowe has. It just sunk right to the bottom of the strike zone, and Reyes was unable to square it up to get the bunt down. Last year's batting champion in the National League. Got a hit in his final game of the season, then took it to the house. That's how his career ended as a Met.
Some kind of ability, Jose Reyes. He can beat you in a lot of different ways. Defensively, on the base paths, swinging it, dropping down bunts for base hits. Well, he's a tough guy to defend.
One ball, 2 strikes on Reyes. Popped him up. Carlos Gomez will make the call. He's got it for the second out. And it'll be Hanley Ramirez, who has had a rough day defensively at third base. The converted shortstop to make room for Jose Reyes.
And he's been playing a pretty good third base. The Marlins have been very pleased with the way he's handled himself in his new position, except for tonight.
He had just 5 errors coming into play tonight. He has 2 in this game. But the Marlins need Hanley Ramirez to be a superstar. And he looked like he was going to be. He still might be. There's a lot of people who, follow Ramirez. We certainly have seen him from day one as a rookie in this league. He was the rookie of the year in '06. I mean, Brock, he was trending to be not just a star player, but maybe the best player in baseball.
Yeah, he could do everything. Steal bases. Kind of like a Jose Reyes type with a little bit more power. Very athletic at shortstop. Last couple of years have been tough for him.
Yep, they really have. He had a monster season. He won a batting title in 2009. Drove in over 100 runs that year. In 2009, he finished second in the MVP race to Albert Pujols. Hasn't been able to produce like that since. Hit hard right to the other Ramirez at third base. Hanley to Aramis. Cameron Lowe with a 1-2-3 inning. All tied at 5. Stretch time at Miller Park. Brewers are coming to bat. And Ryan Braun will hit when we continue.
As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, the Marlins and Brewers game 1 of a 4-game set this week here at Miller Park. And time to get social with you. Social media, of course, our handle, many handles here at on Twitter, of course, at FS Wisconsin, at Brewers Fan Camp, and of course you can follow me as well at Craig Kishan. But Rock's still looking for what's coming up on the instructional tonight. I know you guys contemplating some things with Davey Nelson tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to tweet it out on at Brewers Fan Camp here in a couple of minutes. So just like everybody else, Craig, you're going to have to get on the old Twitter page.
You have gone over to the dark side, my friend.
I'm in. I'm all in. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. No messing around.
Using Twitter as your lead blocker from here on out.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Check it out.
Well,
and I know you're going to be on there in a couple of minutes.
Well, I'll be scouting it out to get the late breaking news. Ryan Webb is the next pitcher for the Marlins. Zambrano, the starter, goes 6. 5 runs, 3 earned for Zambrano. And Nigel Morgan will lead off. He'll be followed by Braun and then Aramis Ramirez. Brewers tied it up last inning with a 2-out, 2-strike, 2 RBI single by Travis Ishikawa. Pinch hit, 2 RBI single at that. Morgan drops it down. It's fair, right on the line. Easy play for Brett Hayes. A little too much English on it, Nigel Morgan, but not a bad idea.
Yeah, Hayes just coming into the ball game, and he's been right in the thick of it. The 1-2-3 double play last inning, and now having to field a bunt.
Brian Braun stepping in at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Was hit by a pitch. Reached on an infield hit his last time up. Bottom of the 7th in a tie game. Marlins come in having won 4 straight, sweeping the Phillies. They won the final game of their series with the Cardinals. They had a miserable month of June, just like they did last year.
Man, really nothing went very well for Ozzie Guillen in June. The pitching staff had a .525 earned run average in June. When you compare that to the month of May, where they played some pretty good baseball, went 21-8. They had a .357 earned run average.
That pitch was called a strike, by the way. Even though Hayes boxed it behind the plate, Braun was saying, how can that be a strike? And he's still not happy.
Couldn't even catch it.
And now,
I don't think Ryan Braun's the only one displeased with Darryl Cousins. He doesn't have many friends out there right now.
Fox Tracks had it on the corner of the strike zone, for what it's worth. Darryl Cousins has already ejected one player tonight. John Buck, the Marlins catcher.
He has got to be hot back there behind home plate.
They close the roof here mid-game. Perhaps a thunderstorm is rolling in. Bring it on. Oh, and 2 to Braun. Tie game, all even at 5. Bottom 7. Braun taps one over to first base. Greg Dobbs will hustle to the bag for the out. 2 outs. Well, Zach Greinke goes 6 innings here tonight. He gives up 5 runs, all earned, the most runs he has allowed in a home start all season. But he will not lose this game, which will keep his winning streak intact. It's been an amazing story, Zach Greinke here at Miller Park. Why would he want to pitch anywhere else?
Stay here next year, right?
Greinke will be a free agent at season's end.
Is that where you're going with that?
Ramirez is hit by a pitch.
That was a breaking ball, and that's why Darryl Cousins is not going to do much about it.
So remember the warnings that came out in the 2nd inning. Cousins is the home plate umpire who has the discretion if he doesn't deem it intentional.
breaking ball got away from him and got Aramis right in the hip. It's not going to hurt too much. Easy for me to say.
Well, there's a base runner. The go-ahead run is aboard for Corey Hart. Well, it will be interesting to see how the Brewers play it moving forward. They're 7 back in the standings. Got the trade deadline coming up at the end of July. The 2 top pitchers headed to free agency, Zach Greinke and Cole Hamels of the Phillies. And it's interesting that Ruben Amaro, the general manager of the Phillies, said Cole Hamels is not going anywhere. We're not trading Cole Hamels. We're going to try to get back in the race.
Yeah. You're going to have to sign him again, though.
The Phillies to start play today are 11 games out of first.
In last place. That's the important thing.
Dead last. They'd have to climb over 4 teams. Hard little cue shot. Dobbs will take it to the bag for the out. Inning over.
Tuesday afternoon will be another hot and steamy day outside of Miller Park with a spotty thunderstorm. Temperatures by first pitch around 90 degrees.
All right, Jeanette, thank you. And the Brewers will be back at it tomorrow against the Marlins. Now, note the next 3 days, airtime is 2:30, first pitch at 3:10 tomorrow and Wednesday. And then Thursday is a 1:10 start. Airtime for Brewers Live 12:30. So it's a good time to do a little double header of Brewers baseball and Summerfest. Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin text question. Miles in West Bend wants to know, how are the coaches chosen for the All-Star game?
Manager picks them.
That's right.
Simple as that.
Pretty easy process. Tony La Russa says these are who I'd like. He makes the call. Ron Renicky will be on Tony La Russa's staff as an All-Star coach. Renicky accepted, and he's headed to Kansas City. K-Rod is on the mound for the Brewers as we go to the 8th in a tie game.
K-Rod came in yesterday's ball game against the Diamondbacks. He gave up a solo home run to Jason Kugel to tie it. A game that the Brewers would eventually win in the bottom of the 9th inning. 0-4 the record for Francisco Rodriguez and a .411 earned run average.
Giancarlo Stanton will lead off hitless today. Walked in the first. And Greinke retired him on groundouts the next 2 times up. A big threat at the plate. The Marlins' lone all-star, Giancarlo Stanton. 19 homers, 50 RBIs. That one is ripped. Fair ball down the left field line. Stand on his way to second base. It'll be a leadoff double.
Well, he's got a quick bat. He really does. A fastball in on him, and he's able to pull the hands in and hit a bullet right down the line. Didn't hook at all. Well, the young man has some bat speed right there. And a leadoff double.
Serious heat on it. 22-year-old Stanton. To go along with his 19 homers, that's his 20th double of the year. Having a monster year in his third season in the big leagues. So now Logan Morrison with the go-ahead run in scoring position. Morrison doubled to drive in a run in the third inning, and then he would later score in the inning. It's that one hard right at Corey Hart. And there is out number one. Stanton will advance to third base. And the go-ahead run now 90 feet away for Miami.
Both Marlins hitters in this inning have hit the ball awfully hard. That one, fortunately for K-Rod, right at Corey Hart at first base. A one hopper, but Corey able to handle it and get the out.
Well, here's Justin Ruggiano, has a career high 4 RBIs here tonight. Ruggiano drove in 2 with a single in the first inning and then a 2-run homer in the third. Bouncing ball, great diving stop. Ramirez, the throw to first in time.
Oh, nice play.
Saves a run, gets an out.
And Brewers had 3 infielders on the left side. Not a lot of room between those fielders over there, but check it out. Ramirez off the line. Our Pizza Hut delivery of the game. A couple of hops. Both of them could have had it. But Ramirez able to get the out, and Stanton has to stay at third base. Nice play. Not often you see 2 guys dive on the same ground ball.
Right, and to have 3 infielders on the same side with an infield in scenario, that's very rare.
Yeah.
Well, how satisfying for Garth, is responsible for positioning the infielders, to get an out of that. That is good scouting work by the Milwaukee Brewers.
And not only do you have 3 infielders on the left side, but you have Ramirez off the line. I mean, he was way off the line. That's the only reason he was able to make that play. But how about 2 infielders diving after the same ground ball?
I think you're right. Both could have had it if it gets by Ramirez.
I don't think his Turris would have been able to get an out, though. He was diving toward the line away from first base. Ramirez had a better shot at getting the out.
So it's going to be Greg Dobbs, and Ron Renneke will ask for the intentional walk, which is not something that Ron Renneke likes to do. But with K-Rod on the mound, he's going to take his chances with Omar Infante coming up next. Brewers have only issued 14 intentional walks this season.
Only the Mets and Diamondbacks have issued fewer. And Cincinnati.
Three balls, no strikes. Dobbs is a good hitter. 1 for 3 in this game with a line out as well. And so K-Rod will take his chances with Omar Infante. First and third. 2 outs in the inning. I always wonder what goes through the mind of a hitter when the batter in front of him is intentionally walked. One of the things playing into the decision, you have to imagine, is the fact that Omar Infante is 0 for 11 lifetime against K-Rod. K-Rod trying to keep him hitless. All tied at 5. The go-ahead run at third. Those 1, 2, 3 innings for Frankie Rodriguez have been rare this year. Infante able to lay off. 2 balls, no strikes.
Man, you don't want to throw him a fastball right down the middle here. You've got the backup catcher on deck. Has not had an at bat yet tonight. Brett Hayes, the right-hander.
Three and 0. Zach Greinke started. He went 6. Cameron Lowe worked a scoreless 7th inning. And now Francisco Rodriguez does have 2 outs, but he'll have to come all the way back against Infante. See if Infante has the green light. 3 and 0. He takes ball 4, and the bases are loaded now.
Well, it's not the way Ron Renicky had it drawn up. He wanted to walk Dobbs, the lefty, to get to a right-handed batter that had never gotten a base hit against K-Rod. 0 for 11, and he walked him on 4 pitches.
And now Brett Hayes will hit, a batter that has never faced K-Rod before. Hayes is in the game for the ejected John Buck. Buck was ejected in the 6th inning after being called on a swinging strike. Ooh, how about that play from Maldonado? That was something special by the Brewer catcher right there, as K-Rod just darted one into the dirt.
Yep, fastball at 92, and you got to get lucky once in a while. Backhand, and he's able to keep it in front of him. You just don't have a lot of time to get on your knees when a pitcher throws a fastball in the dirt.
Breaking balls you can get down there and block. Fastballs you just do your best.
Yeah.
That saves a run right there. We'll see if K-Rod can find it. That's 9 consecutive balls. 10 in a row. And some anxious moments in that Brewers dugout. Gotta make a good pitch. Bases loaded for the Marlins in a tie game. There's a strike.
He's surprised that Hayes wasn't swinging at that right down the middle.
That's the old argument, right? You work hard to get yourself an account to be able to get a pitch like that. And then you let it go by.
Let it go right by. No intention of swinging at it.
2 balls, 1 strike on Brett Hayes. Bouncing ball. Ramirez. What a play. Throw to first. In time. On a wicked hop. Aramis Ramirez saves the day twice. And it is the Marlins who strand the bases loaded.
right now, and I'll tell you what, a couple of big plays by Ramos Ramirez back in the top half of the 8th inning. Our Marshfield Clinic shining moment. Got to have that defense in tight games.
Boy, you certainly do. And he has made some outstanding plays and just sparkling. He looks like a gold glove third baseman over there.
Well, he made the big play to end the inning, getting Hayes right here with the bases loaded. And Francisco Rodriguez, big sigh of relief. He gets through that 8th inning, and it's still tied at 5-5. And Ramirez in that dugout taking a breather. It is hot and steamy at Miller Park right now. Let's see if the Brewers can finish up strong. We'll have full coverage after the ball game on Brewers Live postgame, Brian.
All right, thanks a lot, Craig and Davey. And that is a clinic at third base by Ramos Ramirez. That was a very tough hop to handle with the bases loaded.
And just kind of threw his glove out there and kept it in there. Two very good plays by Ramirez to keep this a tie game.
So Ryan Webb will stay his second inning. Out of the Marlins bullpen, Ricky Weeks leads off. There is a ball down and away. It's been a contrast tonight of defense by the third baseman named Ramirez. Hanley Ramirez has 2 errors in this game, leading to a couple of unearned runs on Zambrano's line. While Ramos Ramirez has been terrific over there. There's a rifled line drive. That's going to go to the wall. Ricky Weeks on his way to second base. A leadoff double. And there is the go-ahead run in the bottom of the 8th.
Now the bottom of the 8th starts out like the top of the 8th with a double. Let's see if the Brewers are going to be able to execute and plate the go-ahead run. Now, fastball had some tail on it, but Ricky Weeks able to pull the hands in. It was inside on him. And he rips it down that left field line. There's a good start to the 8th.
Weeks carries the go-ahead run. Randy St. Clair back out to the mound.
Let's see if Ron Renicky has Maldonado up there to bunt, maybe to advance Ricky Weeks to third base with less than 2 outs. Another school of thought is that you take 3 shots at a base hit to score the run.
Maldonado has proven to be an excellent bunter.
And he's come up with some big hits to drive in runs as well.
Yeah, he's had some home runs to give the Brewers late leads. There's 5 home runs this year. So we'll see what the manager has in mind with a leadoff double. Back in the 6th inning, Maldonado was at the plate and he bunted for a base hit. He was simply trying to advance the runners, but he just put it in a perfect spot. Maybe a little miscommunication between Zambrano and Ramirez. And Maldonado ended up reaching. See what he does. He squares and pulls it back, takes a ball.
Well, you want to bunt toward third base here because you have Dobbs right on top of you as that ball gets to the hitting zone. Ramirez has to stay close to third to be there for a potential play at third base. If he's going to get a late break, pitcher you would figure is going to be charging the line at third.
Just because he showed bunt on the first pitch doesn't necessarily mean he's going to bunt here. Renicky is a guy who changes often, and he lets Maldonado swing. Boy, he had a rip.
Best fastball of the night for Webb that time in '94. Well, he reached back and got a little extra that time, and Maldonado right through it. Look at the sink on that pitch.
Straight to the bottom. Ryan Webb, the Marlins version of Cameron Lowe, with a little bit extra heat on his fastball. Maldonado squares, pulls it back for ball 2. So he showed bunt, then he swung away. Now he showed bunt. What does he do now?
Anytime you see a meeting between the third base coach and the hitter, a sign was missed. I think the Brewers were expecting Maldonado to swing away.
It's the fascinating part of the game.
Yeah.
Especially in the National League. Trying to advance a runner. Getting a runner to third base with less than 2 outs is so important. It presents a number of additional scoring opportunities to have a runner at third. That's why Maldonado is doing all he can to advance him. He does square and he bunts it foul. 2-2.
Particularly when you're at the bottom of the order. I mean, you don't expect to get a lot of power, home runs. You got to advance base runners so that a single or even an error will be able to score a run.
A ground ball to the right side would advance Weeks. But Webb has been content to pitch inside on Maldonado, and now he steps off. You go through all the scenarios for a pitcher. He's, one of the most difficult pitches to bunt. If you're trying to avoid that ground ball to the right side, you pitch him inside.
Just keep throwing that sinker. I mean, the way he can sink that fastball, that's a very difficult pitch to not only hit, but to bunt.
2-2. Maldonado shoots one to right, a base hit. Weeks will hold around third. Stanton has a great arm. How about that piece of hitting by Martin Maldonado? His second hit of the night.
He got a slider and just stuck the bat out there. That's what we're talking about. I mean, the way that ball sinks from Webb, why mess around with that pitch with 2 strikes? There's a slider. Maldonado goes down and gets it. It's not a bad pitch, but a beautiful piece of hitting. Look at the way Maldonado gets that bat out there, just trying to make contact, serves it into right field. And now the Brewers in business with nobody out.
Weeks had to freeze just for a moment to make sure that line drive was going to clear. And Stanton has a great arm. Already has 5 outfield assists. First and third with Nori Aoki being announced as the pinch hitter, and that means Ozzie Guillen is on his way to the mound. So Guillen goes to the bullpen. Webb is out. The Brewers threatening big time here in the bottom of the 8th. They have the go-ahead runner just 90 feet away. Nobody out here in the 8th. And with Nori Aoki announced as a pinch hitter. Ozzie Guillen will counter with a left-handed hurler, Randy Choate.
Yeah, Choate has got great numbers against lefties. A 135 batting average against left-handed batters, only 7 for 52. Flip side of that, Aoki, not too bad against lefties. 271 batter.
Well, those are the left-right splits for Aoki. Got most of his playing time early in the season against left-handed pitching. He was a starter. Brewers are left-handed dominant on their bench.
And only Cody Ransom, a right-handed batter, on the bench. And he's on the on-deck circle.
So Aoki will hit for his tourists. Brewers trying to win in their final at-bat for the second consecutive day. Randy Cho, 36 years of age, was out of the game for 2 complete seasons at the major league level. In a big spot for the Marlins. Infield in for Miami, and a bunt. It's a safety squeeze. Weed scores! And the Brewers take the lead.
Amazing, isn't it?
They've done it again.
Wow.
Indefensible when you get a bunt down like that. Everybody's safe, a run is in. Brewers have the lead and still with the fire hot.
Boy, Aoki does this as well as anybody. Drops it down, right down the line. Ricky Weeks has to read it off the bat. Watch him creep down the line. He sees where it's at. Dobbs does a nice job getting there, but Ricky got such a good jump off the bag that they're not even a play. Well done. Another squeeze opportunity from Milwaukee, and they take the lead. Wow.
The 7th successful squeeze bunt by the Brewers this year, by far and away leads the major leagues. I mean, you might not see 7 successful squeeze bunts in a decade. Another pitching change. Milwaukee with a lead. 2 on, nobody out. We'll take a break. And Ron Renick's favorite play, and the Brewers have been doing it time and time again. 7 now. He does it with pitchers. A couple of favorite targets: Gomez, Aoki, and Lucroy. Aoki seems like he's been involved in a number of these. You can count him alongside us. This is number 4. And it typically occurs in that 1st and 3rd situation. There's Aoki, his 2nd of the year right there, back on May 12th. I mean, you put this group together and you don't figure it'd be this long.
Yep. And it's just a great way to score runs, and this is the one that gave the Brewers a 6-5 lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Big smile for Aoki at first.
And his 3rd squeeze bunt, successful squeeze bunt of the season. Now the Brewers up 6-5, 2 on. Cody Ransom will pinch hit. And he drops a bunt down. That is going to stay fair. Ramirez is throw to first for the out. We got two hitters, pinch hitting, both dropping bunts down. That works as a sacrifice for Cody Ransom. Steve Cishek is the new pitcher.
Well, he pitched yesterday against the Philadelphia Phillies, 2/3 scoreless. Gave him a couple of hits. Struck out a batter. This is his 5th career appearance against the Brewers.
Well, Rock, what do you think? You like 3 consecutive bunts here?
I wouldn't put anything past Ron Renicky.
Gomez is an excellent bunter. Although Renicky would probably like to see him hit it in the seats. And a breaking ball, just like he did earlier tonight, back in the 5th inning. Gomez taking Carlos Zambrano deep.
And a fastball in. A big salute by Carlos Gomez. Not sure who he's saluting. Maybe Garth Orge, Eddie Cedar.
Powerball home run number 5.
A little bit of it has to do with your base runner at third base. I mean, you feel as though you have a guy that has not only good instincts out there, but pretty good speed. Martin Maldonado, not real fast.
He's got the instincts part covered.
Right.
Nothing he can do about the speed. That's not his fault. Pitch out. The Marlins looking out for a squeeze bunt. Gomez staying right down on it, but fouls it back. Two balls, 2 strikes. Brewers trying to add to their lead. 2nd and 3rd with 1 away. The go-ahead run is just scored on a safety squeeze by Aoki. And a swing and a miss. Gomez strikes out. That's exactly what the Marlins needed.
They went with a number of sliders, and then they busted him inside with that sinking fastball from the side armor. Well, nobody loose in that Marlins bullpen. You know, Nigel Morgan's going to get a pretty good pitch to hit with Ryan Braun on deck.
Nigel Morgan pops this one foul territory in the seats. Ryan Braun due next. That means Nigel Morgan is going to see some pitches here. You know, Cishek does not want to deal with Braun. Second and 3rd with 2 away. Morgan slaps it foul. Took the bat out of his hands. That's the thing about Cishek. He throws from an odd angle, but he's got some velocity on that fastball.
He throws sidearm. He's got good movement, and he throws 94. You don't see too many sidearmers throw that hard.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Cishek. But the Brewers have taken the lead. John Axford on his way out. It's a save situation for the Axeman because the Brewers implement their small ball, executing the squeeze bunt to give them the lead as we go to the 9th. Brewers have the lead courtesy of a Nori Aoki squeeze bunt. 6-5. He stays in to play right field. Cody Ransom will stay in to play short. And John Axford is on the mound for the Brewers looking for a save. Axford has 4 blown saves this year, 13 total saves. It's been a rough year for him, but he is coming off a victory yesterday in a 3-up 3-down inning against the Diamondbacks. Columbia St. Mary's save tracker. Axford with 13. And Scott Cousins will lead off pinch hitting. And he's hitting as the roof is opening here in the 9th inning. Started the game with the roof open. It was closed 3 innings ago and now reopened for the top of the 9th. As Cousins fouls it back.
Axford did a nice job in yesterday's ball game keeping the fastball down. When he struggles, he ordinarily misses high with his fastball. Not yesterday, and not that first fastball today.
Cousins has a hit against Axford in his career, and his only at bat, it was a triple. Very limited at bats and experience against John Axford in this Miami Marlins roster. 1-2 the count. 2-2. Twice the Brewers have come back in this game. They were down 2-0 early, tied it in the second, then down 5-2, managed to tie it in the 6th inning. Travis Ishikawa had the game tying hit, 2 out, 2 RBI single in the 6th inning. But 3 big outs to get for John Axford. Got him. Chased a high fastball. Scott Cousins. 97 miles an hour. Not a lot of time to make up your mind. But Axford gets a break.
Yeah, you've got to start that bat early, and that's why sometimes you'll swing at pitches like that out of the zone. Axford threw a couple of high fastballs around the shoulders, and this time able to get it down low enough to get Cousins to offer.
Top of the order now, Jose Reyes. 1 gone, 2 outs away for John Axford. Reyes has just 1 career at bat. Does not have a hit. 0 for 1. Tonight, Reyes has a hit. 1 for 4. He singled and scored in the 1st inning. Zach Greinke started. He and Zambrano, the pitching matchup tonight. Neither will factor in the decision. An anxious crowd here at Miller Park. Just shy of 30,000 on a Monday night. And it's 2-2 on Reyes. Axford tied for the National League lead in saves last year with Craig Kimbrell. 46 saves for Axford a season ago. He carried over his consecutive save streak to this season. Ended up saving 49 in a row, which was the 4th longest all time. 2-2 pitch. Reyes bounces one out to Ricky Weeks. Out number 2. Time now for our AT&T Uverse Reverse Replay. We take you back to Zach Greinke, who had a little bending tonight, but didn't break and kept his team in it long enough for the Brewers to rally, and Greinke's undefeated streak at Miller Park will continue
Gave up 5 runs all in the first 3 innings and then really settled down nicely. Only able to get through 6.
Well, it comes down to this. Hanley Ramirez. 2 outs in the 9th. Ramirez had a big rip, fouls it back.
Whew. That's what 97 miles an hour would do for you. You know, you can make a pitch against a pretty good hitter right down the middle, and he fouls it back.
A big bat is on deck as well. Giancarlo Stanton. Brewers would love to see him tomorrow. Axford had a 3-up, 3-down 9th inning yesterday in a win. There's a strike. What a hook. That is a game changer for John Axford when he throws that pitch for strikes. Oh, 2 the count. See what he has in mind for Ramirez.
Not a bad idea. Maybe get him to chase. You don't want to leave it up in his zone, that's for sure.
Just keep an eye on Ramirez and notice how early he starts his motion at the plate, knowing Axford has the big fastball.
Starts that leg kick very early.
Makes him susceptible to breaking balls. One ball, 2 strikes. Axford deals, and a fastball high and away, 98. Dangerous hitter at the plate, but a player who is having another down season. Does have 12 homers. Two. He was late.
He's starting to dial in on that heater, though. I mean, if Axford can throw that curveball for a strike, he's going to get him. Hanley Ramirez is sitting dead fastball, and so far Axford's been able to get it by him. One thing you don't want to do, you want to walk this guy and have to deal with the man on deck.
Giancarlo Stanton waiting to hit next. Do it again. Another 2-2 pitch. Oh, he just got a piece.
Yep, he hung tough on that pitch.
That was a good breaking ball too from Axford.
And a good piece of hitting just to stay alive.
So he's a tick behind the fastball and a tick ahead of the curveball. Wheels are churning. See what Axe has in mind for him. Going with a heat. 2-2. And a foul ball. Ramirez, that late bat just hanging in there. That first curveball that Axford threw him for a strike set the tone for this at bat. And now Ramirez has seen all that he has. We'll do it again. Ramirez fouls that one away. He's still late. Fastball at 98 miles an hour. Brewers have taken the lead on a squeeze bunt, a safety squeeze. Nori Aoki dropping one down, scoring Ricky Weeks. They trailed at one point 5-2 in this game. Got a run in the 5th on a Gomez homer, 2 in the 6th. Ishikawa drove in a pair to tie it. And they took the lead in the 8th. Another 2-2, and it's back up the middle. Weeks is there. Throw to first in time. Ball game over. Axford saves it. Number 14. Aoki wins it with a bunt. And the Brewers win again. 3 in a row for Milwaukee. A 6-5 final score. Winning pitcher Francisco Rodriguez as Axford saves his 14th of the season. Good way to get this 4-game series started for the Brewers. Much more still to come. We check in with Craig Kashawn. What do you have coming up on Brewers Live, Craig?
Well, we have plenty. It was a Monday fish fry. That certainly works out for the Brewers to take game 1 of this series. Don't forget, we have our on-field instructional on the way. Going to hear from Ron Renneke and the players as well. So stick around. Brewers Live is next.